Ari, very warm welcome to you. Some extraordinary numbers in the report and some very concerning details as well. I mean, does this sort of detail come as any surprise to you, or is it fairly commonplace behaviour at the border?
Yeah, I'm afraid. Thanks so much for having me. But yes, unfortunately, this behavior is really commonplace. These are the sorts of complaints that we've been documenting in our interviews with migrants and asylum seekers at the US-Mexico border for decades, really. We have reports going back to the early 1990s documenting the same sorts of abuses that have been taking place today that we've released in detail in this report.
We know that with the influx of migrants, the President, Joe Biden, came under quite a lot of pressure to deal with the numbers at the border. How much pressure do you think his administration will come under now to act on this report?
I sure hope they're feeling the pressure. The fact of the matter is the Biden administration has sort of tried to play to both sides when instead it should have been completing its campaign promises to implement a humane border regime and to have rights-respecting immigration policies. These are asylum seekers. By definition, all of these people, they are people who were fleeing their country, fleeing persecution, in need of safety, and were vulnerable, and they were treated just really poorly, abusively by border agents. And so, what we've seen, unfortunately, is since the Biden administration took office, they've really succumbed to this pressure to keep the border closed or to, use the COVID-19 pandemic as a false justification, to turn away asylum seekers. And so, I really hope that this report will change that.
And we all saw the conditions, Ari, that migrants had to withstand at the border with those pictures from the last month or two. Temporary shelter being found under a bridge, lack of food and water, really tough conditions. What's the latest situation there, and what's the latest on the numbers of people trying to get into the United States?
I haven't looked at the numbers in the last couple of days, but what I can say is that Border Patrol and the Biden administration have cleaned out that camp. And so what that means is that they've illegally expelled thousands of Haitian asylum seekers back to Haiti, a country where U.S. government officials are essentially in lockdown in compounds. It's a completely unsafe, untenable situation, and they've just sent thousands of people. And this is, along with the thousands and thousands of other asylum seekers, not only Haitians but from other parts of the world, that the Biden administration has expelled since President Joe Biden took office. Some of those, a large number of those Haitian asylum seekers have also been allowed into the United States, where they will pursue their asylum claims, where a judge will decide basically whether or not they have a meritorious case. And so, the point though is that these, immigration is not going away. Asylum seekers are not going to stop coming. These are really big issues. We have climate change. We have a lot of global instability as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, and we can expect that these problems will continue. And so it's time for the United States to enact a humane border policies and comply with the human right to seek asylum. And so we're hoping that they'll take a turn here and do things the right way.
We will see if that happens. Okay, Ari Sawyer there joining us from Los Angeles. Thank you very much indeed.